sincere thanks to IDIS MSME for bringing this session, which is very important, as Ankita told in the beginning, right? And I thank to all of you for being here and investing your time. All right. Now, before we begin, may I get just 90 seconds from you to share uh, why I chose to work only with Indian MSMEs. So with your permission, I will just take 90 seconds to talk about that, if it is okay with you. All right. Okay. So early in my career, I experienced something that many may not talk about, right? Being denied opportunity, facing long periods of unemployment, and surviving moments where systems failed individual. So twice in my career, I faced setbacks, right? Being denied opportunity and all those stuffs, right? Once early in my career and once in the 2008 recessions, right? You know it, Lehman Brothers issues, where MSMEs became my safety net when the larger systems actually did not help me so much. So over 3 decades, I have worked with large organizations and MNCs, and during that time, I partnered with many MSME founders as channel partners, as system integrators, as MSME owners, right? I have seen their courage, but let me tell you, I have also seen their struggles, growth without systems, founder dependency, sales firefighting, and now confusion around AI. This is why my work today is focused on one mission: helping Indian MSME founders scale profitably, ethically, and sustainably using AI-driven systems and conscious leadership so that your growth creates order, not burnout. Because when MSMEs grow well, they don't just build businesses, they create jobs, dignity, and national strength. That is the impact I am committed to, and all of you, therefore, are my heroes. Okay, with that context, let's now focus on what really matters to you, how to use AI correctly in your business without noise or hype. Let me share my screen, just give me a second. Hope you can see the screen. Ankita, you can just shout out if the screen is visible because I cannot see the chat. You can just say yes.
Yes, the screen is
All right.
visible.
Okay. So first, let me share with you upfront that today's session is not teaching AI tools. Let me be very clear. It is about clearing confusions of the MSME founders around AI, because that's a buzzword nowadays, right? Now, over last year, I have met many MSMEs during my consulting. I have talked to many MSMEs, and almost all of them tell the same thing. I hear a lot about AI. I see a lot of AI tools. I am not sure where to start. Some feel curious, some feel pressured, and some feel left behind. I think if you are one of them, you are not alone. This actually happens. So let me share my first belief upfront here, which will give you some clarity. So AI is not the problem, but the confusion arises when you use tools, any tools, AI tools, before clarity. Because when the clarity is missing, any tool will add noise. Any new tool will add noise. But when the clarity is present, even the simple tool will create enormous results. So that's my first belief, and which I have seen it proven, I wanted to share with you. Now, let me share with you today in next 45 minutes what won't happen. So I'm not going to ask you by anything. I promise I will not use any complex technical jargons, and I will not show you 20 different AI tools today. Okay, so that's the promise. But what I promise, what is going to happen today is I will share a simple framework. I will be sharing one practical example through some live demo of AIs. I will give you a clear next step if you want it. Okay, because my only intention is that to help you think clearly. That's the only intention today. With that, why I'm telling that? Because this is a thing I have already learned after working with MSMEs, that all founders know what needs to happen in their business, right? The challenge is not the knowledge. The challenge is the need for a space to think and act on what you already know as an MSME owner. Then only AI can help you, and if approached correctly. So that's the one I want to set the context, and it would be great if you can take notes, because you never know, some ideas which will be coming out while I'll be talking can show you something, then lead you something to apply for. Okay, now today's session, we have talked about AI for MSMEs. Now let me start with why AI fails in MSMEs. Okay, specifically for MSMEs, right? So let me delve into that. So there is an illusion, let me share that. And this is a fact that MSMEs do not lack tools. They have spreadsheets, WhatsApp, email, sometimes a CRM subscription, sometimes maybe AI subscriptions, right? But yet growth feels uneven. That happens. Your sales fluctuate. Some months it is great, some months you have a dry stuff and your pipeline health is not great. Follow-up sleeps because there is no systems, there is no accountability. Your planning gets postponed for whatever reasons. Now, for all this happens, it doesn't mean that these are due to that fact that founders are careless. It happens because work becomes reactive, right? So it is also my own experience being, I am also an entrepreneur. Now I have also worked in multinational corporations, and these are the thing happens in real life scenarios, okay? So now let me share one case here. It's a real story of a manufacturing owner who called me 3 months ago. He just told me, shared with me that he subscribed for 3 AI tools, okay, but he was frustrated. He said that I thought that these tools will save me more time, but I'm finding that I'm spending more time managing them than doing actual work. So then I asked him one question. Before you bought these AI tools, did you know exactly how much time each tasks take for you? Do you know the answer? The answer is just a silence, complete silence. Then he said that I thought that the tools should figure it out for me. Okay, that's the real problem. That's the real challenge. So what I have found talking to MSMEs and all, these are the three truths. The first truth I have already talked about, that MSMEs don't lack tools. They lack order. This is the second most important truth. And third one is AI magnifies what already exists. And you will see it here, how it happens and how it is really a hard truth. Okay. Now, Let me talk about what does order means. So order is not a perfection, neither it is a complexity. Order means you as an owner know what has to happen in your business in this week. Order means you know who is responsible for each of the actions. You also know that where the information lives, and even your team knows where the informations are there for them to access, right? And you should also know when the decision happens, how the decisions are taken. This is about the order. Okay. Now think of a scenario that if order is missing and you have purchased some AI tools, like I gave an example, what will happen? So here it will happen. So if your follow-ups are unclear and you are using AI will speed up confusion, because the truth is AI amplifies what you already have. If your priorities are mixed, AI will create more and more activity without direction. If your ownership is fuzzy, AI will add or create more and more works, not less. That is why many founders feel disappointed when they buy new tools and start using them. Okay. So the problem is not the tool, the problem is the order. That's very important. Now let me share another example of a textile MSME. They wanted to use AI chatbot for customer communications. But believe me, they stopped in 2 weeks. Why? Because they realized that they did not have a clear process how to handle a customer queries. That was missing. Okay. But they implemented AI chatbot. So what happens? So AI was giving responses, faster responses it was giving and all, but team did not know who should follow up. They did not even know which query is urgent. That means in the first case, when someone doesn't know who should follow up, means ownership is missing. If you do not know what is the urgent thing, that means your priorities are not set, right? And you also do not know what to share, but you have implemented AI chatbot. There is no process how to handle different customer queries. So AI was still giving faster responses, but think of it, faster chaos is still a chaos. That I want all of you to take as one of the key takeaway here, that before tools, order is very, very important. And herein comes the distinction of two types of businesses. Now, let me share that. That will give a very good clarity about AI. And please bear with me to get the context for yourself so that you can relate it when I'm giving you the demo of one practical AI tool and how it can also help you, right? Okay, coming back. So there are two types of businesses. One is effort-driven business, another is system-driven business. Now, in the effort-driven business, what happens is it is dependent on the memory, energy, and urgency. You can see minutely that energy is used twice in the left column and the right column with memory and also urgency. Why? Because energy is the one thing which is mostly used in effort-driven business. When there will be urgency issues that will be popping up, when the memory issues will be there, what will happen? You need to spend more and more energy, right? So that is effort-driven business. Now, how it works? Now, here founder remembers everything. He knows whom to call tomorrow, whom to follow up, what are the actions need to be taken on the invoices, all these things. Teams only work harder because they work only when the deadline comes, right? So someone has to push and all, then only things will happen. So it is always a firefighting. It is always the ad hoc basis. So in reality, it works. I'm not saying that this doesn't work. This also works. Many successful business runs this way, but it has a limit. The moment your business grows, right, then memory will dip, energy will fall, and urgency will replace all your important tasks. So you will not be able to concentrate on the important tasks, which is very, very important and crucial for your business, but urgency will take over, the firefighting will take over. And that happens. You know, I have experienced it as an employee, as a leadership role, in my leadership role, and now I'm an entrepreneur for the last 2 to 3 years, right? Now contrast it with the system driven business. Here it is dependent on rhythm, clarity, and written actions, right? Here it works like that. The team knows on each Monday what are the things they need to do. The follow-up happens because there is a process. It is not like that someone is remembering, right? There's a written process that is visible, that is accessible, right? So the structure is enabling the business to run. Okay, so AI works here. AI works better over here. So that's the, you know, main thing you should take away today, that if you really want to use AI, not because of the hype, not because of the buzzword, you should first have that you should create a system driven business first. That's the key here. So the truth is, AI cannot create order. It is you need to create the order. AI will amplify what exists. If order is there, order, it will be amplifying. That means for the effort driven business, AI will be creating problem. But if it is a system driven business, and if you use AI, your effort will be much faster. But remember, it will not give you sustainable growth. It will give you order. Why? This is the golden nuggets. Let me share you very clearly. The reason is AI is not the replacement for the thinking of an owner, a business owner, because AI cannot replace your thinking. AI supports whatever decisions you take. It supports your systems for clarity. You are taking decisions, you're thinking about your employees, your sales process, your growth, everything. It will only support you, but it will not be replacing your thinking. And that's the mistakes many MSMEs does while going for AI. Hope you are getting some values here, some new perspectives here. And let's move to the next part of it, because I have promised that I will share a simple framework, and let me delve on that. This will give you some more clarity what I have talked about in the context setting. All right, so as I talked about that, before you think for using AI as an MSME, set your foundation. I call it the 4-step progression. Why I use the term progression? Because, let me move the things, because it has to go in a sequence: clarity, rhythm, execution, and scale. That's the core foundation you should work upon even before thinking of AI. Forget about investing in it. Okay, now let me explain each one very briefly so that you can get a context of it, right? So clarity means that you as a business owner knows what matters this week itself, not 10 things. Remember, it is only 1 or 2 things which matters this week. That's clarity. Okay, but what happens is, I have found with many MSMEs that they are trying to address so many things simultaneously. They are thinking to improve their product. They are finding customers every time without working on the existing customers and upselling them. They are fixing different parts of the operational bottlenecks. They are thinking for hiring people even without looking at that. Really, if they think for upskilling their employees to training, they can themselves give the same results. They do not need to add more people, right? They're also updating websites. So many things MSMEs do that together simultaneously. This is not strategy. This is exhaustion. This happens. When I also started 2 to 3 years back, the story was also same with me. You are not alone. It happens, right? At the start of your business, right? So what you need to do is that you need to bring an order. So you need to think of that this week I'll be only focusing on customer follow-ups, or maybe I'll be working on the pending invoices, or next week I'll be fixing only one operational bottleneck, right? Because when clarity is present, your progress will become visible. But if the clarity is missing, your activity will feel endless. How many of you as an owner resonate with this? You can put your own comments here. Whatever I am saying over here, if you resonate with your own life, you can relate, you can just put the comments in the chat. You can already consolidate all those chats for our future review, which can help me also refine my courses for you, right? Okay, so here is the AI connection, that AI cannot create clarity for you. As a founder, you only need to create clarity, right? Otherwise, the things will happen like that. Like that owner will tell that I thought AI will do that for me, figure that out for me. It doesn't work in that way. Very simple. All right. Now let's go to the next part. What is rhythm? So rhythm means fixed time for work. That means you should have fixed time block for sales review, fixed time block for your own task, fixed time block for invoice review, whatever it is. It is not like that whenever time permits. Now I have got some time, now I'll do pending invoices, now I'll do this. It is not like that. It's more of a calendarizations, right? That is the rhythm. It is very important. Okay. So rhythm means that you need to know when you review sales pipeline, when you check follow-ups, when you plan next week. Actually, these are the questions I want to ask you. When do you review your sales pipeline? Do you have a time blocking for that? When do you check follow-ups? Do you have a time blocking for that? When do you plan next week? Is it on Friday? So the question is, it is not the order. Rhythm means you have some order, some places that you are following that rhythm, right? The problem is, as I shared before, if you don't have this rhythm, if you don't have clarity and order, your important things will be losing to the urgent things, and that will really kill your business, your growth and everything, because important thing is important, urgent thing is always firefighting, right? So this is the key. So when you talk of rhythm, you as an entrepreneur should have the Monday morning, I will review this week itself. Wednesday, I'll be checking up the follow-ups, pending follow-ups with my team, right? Friday, I'll be planning for my next week, period. That is rhythm. If all these are not said before and you implement AI, it will be really, really a problem for you, right? So when you have rhythm and order, then we use AI. Now you can use AI to draft your mails. But the question is, when will you review it? AI will draft your mail, but you need to review it. Otherwise, it will not go out of your mailbox. If you use AI to analyze data, then you should have a time to act on the insight. Data has got no meaning unless and until you act on the insight which AI will be creating for you. You need a rhythm for that, right? So without the rhythm, what will happen is that any tool, it will stay unused. But when you have a rhythm, even a very simple tool will create exponential results. And I am telling you from my one of my client for in Chennai consulted, who purchased CRM, AI CRM, and that kept unused for years, right? That happens. Okay. Now, let me go to the next, which is execution. Now, this PPT, if you see, you have that clarity, you have the rhythm, that you have the rhythm, then you have execution and the scale. Now, execution is very simple. You should have actions written, visible, and accessible to your team, not kept in your head as an owner or even in the team's head. Period. That's execution. Okay. It should not be kept on your head. The problem with MSM organizations are there, whether their team or the founder knows I have to do things. He knows it very well. I have to do these the things. Team also know what is their task. But since they don't have a rhythm and clarity, they don't have an execution written, what will happen is there is no shared view on what is in progress, what is work in progress, what is happening in the business. That will not happen. Okay, so things will sleep. It is not because that the team is lazy or the founder is careless. It is not like that. It is because there is no order, there is no action written somewhere which can be used by the team and by the owner himself, right? So the execution clarity means that every action has a clear owner, no ambiguity. Every action has a set deadline, and it should be written somewhere and visible. And this is not at all complicated. You can use a simple spreadsheet. You can have a pinned message in a WhatsApp group, or even you can have a physical board somewhere in your office, right? So what matters most is not the tool. What matters is whether the actions are visible. That matters a lot. Okay, that is about execution. And here is the AI connection, that now when you have execution settled and stabilized, now the AI can draft your mails, draft your written actions. Now AI can send reminders for your pending action, pending follow-ups. Now AI can summarize your progress without adding noise, without adding more work, right? But here again, if everything lies in your head, then AI can't help. No tool can help you. That's the reality. Let's be very clear on that. Okay. Now, when it comes to scale, it is very simple. The definition is very simple. It comes later, not first, right? Here it is, scale only after 1, 2, and 3, right? That's the point I want to make it very clear. But these are the things many MSMEs make a mistake. Okay, so they want to grow faster, right? Because of that, what they do is they look for those AI tools which promises scale, because in the market there are AI vendors who are there to only sell their tools, like a tool seller, right? So they look for this, faster growth. They do the mistake. But scale without foundation, with that order, it will add problems to you. I have already given that example, beforehand, right? So when you have not established the three before and you have started using AI, then what will happen? So if you want to scale sales, but you don't have a follow-up mechanism in place, then you will lose customers for sure. If you want to scale operations using AI without no execution clarity, your quality will drop. If you want to scale your marketing, but you have don't, you know, settled your clear marketing messaging, you will be wasting money in your advertisement, whatever you do. Those are the consequences going to happen. Okay, so if you really don't do 1 2 3 before scaling, so the importance here is sequence matters. First clarity, second rhythm, third execution, and then only scale it. Because as we have told that AI is very powerful at scale stage and in system driven businesses. Okay, that's the message I want you to take today, home back. Before you really think for any AI tools, or if you invest in any AI tool. Okay, now this is reality. So reverse order, majority MSMEs do it in a reverse way, as I talked to you, right? So what they'll do, they will do this, try to scale first without clarity, buying tools before rhythm is set, automating processes before execution stabilizes, like the chatbot example. So every time acting without clarity will be always leading to stress, and that's always happen. How many of you can resonate with this? You can just put your comments, real honest comments today what I am sharing, right? So what I want is today's further takeaway is this, that you as MSMEs, you really don't need paid AI tool yet. Take it from me. What you need is a place where thinking becomes visible. Because when your thinking becomes visible, your decisions improve. When your decisions improve, your execution becomes better. Then only AI can help you. This is the message I want you to take. Now, let me share another practical example here. It is a case of an industrial MSME of the industrial supplies. You think of the two scenarios. One is without order, when this company was not having orders, right? The reality has been like this, that follow-ups were in the founder's memory. He knows what need to do. Teams will be coming to the founders daily asking what they should do, right? That's the way things will go on. Sales will happen, it is not a problem, but the pattern will not be there, right? Now, without this order, if the MSME buys an AI tool, expensive CRM, like one of my clients did that, right? What will happen? Tools still unused, because no one knows what data to enter, no one knows, what to check, when to check. All these things is going to happen, right? People will not know how to act on it. So AI will be amplifying the disorder. Now compare this with when there is an order beforehand. Now think of the same industrial MSME where the founder maintains a simple spreadsheet with all the leads together. And every Monday morning, team reviews that, spreadsheet. I am not talking about even a CRM, paid CRM. I am simply talking about the spreadsheet for an MSME, right? So there is also a clear action with clear ownership for every lead with set deadline, right? If that order is already existing, now if AI is used, even if that is a free tool, that AI will be drafting follow-ups mail, that will be summarizing all your customer conversations and give you insights. They will suggest you what are the next actions you need to take, all these things. So AI will be working so nicely over here that it will be amplifies order. That's the reality. Okay, hope things are making sense. I think I am not able to interact with you live because of the settings and all, but you can put your comments in the chat when I'm asking something. Okay, so far what we have talked about is, today I want all of you to take this as a mental shift. please work upon this mental shift. And this, I want you to take a screenshot of this, that AI is not a shortcut. AI is an accelerator. It accelerates what you have. If you have clarity in your business, AI will make it more clearer, period. If you have rhythm in your business, AI will make you more consistent. If there is no rhythm, chaos. If you have execution, clear execution, stabilized execution, AI will make it faster. But if you have confusion, you will become more confused. It is as simple as that. So the real question is not about which AI tools should I use. Many MSME founders ask me the same questions, right? But my answer remains the same, that don't think for tool first. First think, do you have a clarity? Do you have an order that makes AI useful? If the answer to this is yes, then only simple tools, even a free tools, can give you havoc result. But if the answer is no, no tool can solve your problem, even if you have the good intention and you have invested in AI. Okay, so with this, I'll be now moving to a demo, as I promised you, that I'll give you one practical tool and then I will come back over here. So let me move there. Am I audible? Ankita, can you just shout out?
Yes, yes, you are.
I'm just selecting the, all right. Just let me know if you can see the screen now. Something is written as weekly
Yes,
business clarity. All right,
yes,
great.
yes.
So let's see what I have talked about, what happens, because I have seen many MSME founders tell me, full day they becomes busy and still things, remains very slow and all these things happen, right? So let me increase the screen size so that it becomes visible. All right. Now, what you are seeing here is, this is an AI tool, of course. You can see that it is Notion AI. Okay. And this place is blank. You know, most MSMEs work this way. This is a blank page, right? So let me create something over here, right? So say leads this week. So I am creating some, container over here. So leads this week. So this is one container I am say creating. Let me create another as follow-up spending. So that's the way, MSME founders on a busy day might be writing like this in the notepad or something, right? So follow-up spending. So let me write that. So maybe next, maybe decisions to take. Let me put it in something. So I have created, simply three containers over here, right? Now I have already created something while I was talking to many entrepreneurs, their notebook, I have seen their notebook, digital notebook also, right? And this is a real entrepreneur notes I have seen on a business. This is a real case. You can if you can see that this is the way some notes are taken, right? So call Rajesh about proposal, check pricing for client A. That's the way it happens, right? So this is the one. So let me copy this, and so let me put it back over this. So let me put it over here itself. Say I'll name it like, say, dummy prompts on a busy founder day. Or you can say that, messy notes. That's a better term. Messy notes on a busy founders day. So let me paste this. Okay. Now you are seeing so far, this is not AI. This is a simple blank page. Something is in your mind. So I have created this, right? Now I have actually engineered a prompt so that I can get something as an order, before using AI. So what I'll be using is that this tool I'll not be using as an AI typically. This particular notion I use it for organizing for the clarity. This is like my thinking space, right? I use the brain, the chat GPT, because that's the thinking brain. I use that to get clarity from for my thinking, right? So what I've done is I have created a wonderful prompt. It took a lot of time, and I will be, just if you can see the prompt, you can see that it is made for you. This is MSME reality. So I have already written this. Let me walk you through the prompt before I give it to ChatGPT to show you the magic, right? You are a business operation assistant for an Indian MSME. Below is a raw, unstructured dump of thoughts from a busy founder's day. Important rules. Do not add new ideas. Do not introduce strategy. Do not assume missing information. Only organize what is already present. This, what I'm telling the AI is not to hallucinate me as a founder. I do not want to clutter my thinking, my creativity. I am completely removing all the AI related hallucination and stuff. They will then confuse you with, suggesting so many things. I have done that. Then I'm asking that AI, your task is to convert this raw dump into a simple, practical, weekly execution structure. Output the results in 4 sections. You can see that I have written these 4 sections, right? Like that. And keep the language simple, practical, and founder friendly. These outputs will be pasted, okay, like that. So now, let me copy this entire prompt, because I don't use sorry, Notion for my thinking, right? Because that is not my brain. This is my desk, my organizer. I go to ChatGPT and I'll paste this prompt. And you can see here, I am supposed to give the raw notes, which is already there. So I have already kept that note there, right? This is here in messy notes. It is already, I have kept it here. So I am now copying this from your notebook, coming here, and I am just pasting it. And now see the magic. Can you see the screen now? Anyone can shout out?
Yes, yes.
So now in a few, not even a minute, few seconds, now ChatGPT is creating an order for my thinking. I have not asked ChatGPT to clutter my thinking. I have only given instruction that way. What it is doing now, it is telling leads this week. Whatever is there in the note, it has not added anything. It has now given a clear structure here in a moment what you need to do. And think over it. I have already given on 7-day weekly rhythm because I talked about the clarity, rhythm, and execution. Rhythm is required before execution, before calendarization. That also has been given. So you do not need to use your brain to organize it. Whatever you have written in your notebook or kept in your head. Okay, so that's it. So I have not asked ChatGPT to think on my behalf. I have asked him to give a clarity. It is to set the order. Now what I'm going to do is I'll be copying this and I'll be pasting this here. Simple. So what happened is my brain is here. I am using ChatGPT as a brain because AI is not great in giving you such a fabulous quality, output. Okay, and this is the system. So what I am doing is I am now created a systems here. I am not keeping anything in my head. I have created a systems over here, right? Now let me copy the last part of it, decisions to make. All right. Okay. Now you can also create a 7-day calendar, copy and paste it, or you can directly from ChatGPT, you can calendar is it, either Google Calendar, whatever it is, right? Is that not very simple? So what I did here is I used ChatGPT for my thinking brain and I used Notion for my desk, my thinking space. As I told you that as an MSME, you do not need a lot of tools. You need a thinking place like this to work, to create an order. That's the message I wanted to give you. Okay. Now let me go back to the mind map. Now think that this type of things you do it, regularly. Every week you do this type of things. Accept one of the business cases and then solve like this live. Okay, so can you see my screen now?
Yes, yes.
All right, got it. Okay, so you can see that what you have seen here is simple things. It took less than 10 minutes even to give a structure and order to whatever is there in your mind on a busy day and all, right? So that you can do it very easily, right? And this type of things, this is the only reason I actually designed something for you. So now before we close, let me just be calm, come back to this and think about it, that this is not about any tools. What I shared with you, it is about your clear thinking. How do you think clearly in a noisy business environment? It is not at all about tools, right? So if you really can establish clarity fast, then AI will becomes very simple and you can create fabulous results, right? If you have a clarity and rhythm, otherwise it will be creating chaos. Okay, that's the reason, you know, I based on what I get regular this type of questions, right? Which AI tools I should use first? I always tell that, you know, this is a wrong starting point. You should first think about reading and decide your 1 week first with clarity, right? And then only think for tools, okay? Because the AI is not meant to run your business. AI is not the decision maker on your behalf, right? AI is always supporting your thinking, your decision you take daily about your customer, your follow-ups, your pricing, your hiring, your priorities, or whatever it is. That is the proper role of AI. It will not replacing your thinking. That's a mistake you do, what I have told before, right? Now, many of you may think this is great, this makes sense, but how do I apply week after week after week, right? When I listen this type of questions from MSME owners like you, this tells me one thing very clearly and convincingly, right? This tells me that you are ready for execution. Okay. So whatever you saw today in the webinar, right? It shows you the possibility, right? It gave you some insights, but insight alone will not change your business. It is very simple. So if you want the changes to happen in your business, you need to work consistently with structure, rhythm, and guidance. And that is the reason exactly why I created AI-driven MSME growth sprint. This is a free sprint. I'll be talking in next 1 or 2 minutes about this. But what I want to tell you is that this is not a course. This is not a theory. This is a live working room for all of you. And this is free. Now let me share how it works. What we do is every week we take one business area, right? Like strategic customer acquisition, outreach and first contact, follow-up system, consultative selling and AI-powered proposal making, pricing psychology, and how do you handle negotiations, customer retention and upsell systems, leadership and delegation systems, and business strategy and scaling plan. You know, this type of growth sprint has been designed with a lot of research. Last couple of research I have done based on the MSMEs who really want growth with systems, not chaos. And then these are the areas they need to work. Okay, so these are the 8 areas we have thought about, and our approach is that, you know, we'll be using simple tool first. We'll be only using AI only where it helps, right? That's our approach. Very, very clear, because it is not the question of tools alone, right? So in the sprint, we'll be starting with free tools. Why? Because that does not mean that paid tools are bad, but clarity should not depend on spending money. We can think for paid tools later. You do not need it. Like I showed you Notion, you might have got a glimpse of my systems there, how organized it is. Now it is free. You can make Notion as your organizer and thinking place free completely, right? And ChatGPT also you have a free, you can use it, right? So your focus should be on thinking. Your focus should be on the 4-step progression I talked about. The focus is not on buying tools, which tools I should buy so that I can grow your business. No. Okay, that's very important, and this is the way you can join the sprint. Rhythm is like that. How it works: one problem 1 week, one clear outcome same day itself, right? We'll be working live and we'll give you an action for that complete week to work upon on that particular problem, and then come back to the next mission. And that way we'll be completing the 8 week and In the eighth week, you'll be completely ready with your business plan and systems and what you need to do your business, because we have touched all the 8 areas which is required for a business to grow with systems, right? And then this sprint again repeats in cycles. That means in a year, at this moment I have thought about to run this at least for a year, that 8 week cycle, maybe there will be 6 such growth sprint will happen, so that you can join at any point of time and at your own pace. But I would love if you can join as quickly as possible, because time is the essence, right? Time will pass, you will not purchase it back. So the more quickly you can leverage this learning and implement it, that would be better for your business. And because I believe in value first education led mission, so that's why I have created this 8 week free growth sprint to educate and give clarity to all of you. Okay, and this is for the founders who want progress without overload. You do not want to burn out, you want freedom, you do not need to get stressed, right? But what I need from you is pure honesty, right? If you are really honest about your business, I welcome you on this sprint. Okay, so as a next step, I am not going to share any links for this growth sprint. Irish will share this link after I close. Okay. And if this way of thinking resonates you, not a hype, not about AI tools, budget, I need to, uh, ride the bandwagon, but you are like this, thinking first before investing in tools, then you can explore for it, right? If not, if this way doesn't resonate, you already have the clarity enough today, you have got it, you can use immediately from today or tomorrow, right? But my one request to all of you is that walk away with clarity. Don't go without a clarity, because this is the real cost in business, right? So walk out with the clarity at least, right? So to conclude, let me tell you very clearly from where I started. I am not here today in Iris, webinar to teach any tools. I am not a tool peddler to sell you any tool or do something, right? I want to help founders decide what to use, when to use, what to ignore. That is very important, because nowadays we are in the noisy business environment in the digital world. You need to ignore so many things. I give a clarity as a thought leader, for the MSMEs, right? So I respect all of you founders who think clearly first before quickly riding for the bandwagon and going for the tools. And thank you very much for your time, for your patience, and giving me this much space to me to share what I have. And I wish you a discipline. I wish you the growth of the MSMEs, because as I told you that you are creating nation's GDP and job, and I have not told the mission in detail, but one of my mission is basically helping our people to get more and more jobs, and you can only help that, because I have seen that. So your growth is paramount. So that's why I am here today. Thank you, Ankita. Thanks for arranging this show, and my thanks to all the uh, you know um, webinar participants here. And great.
No, all thanks to you for such a beautiful and such an insightful webinar.
My
I'm
camera
sure.
was off in between. I do not know. I did not realize. Okay.
Yes. So, a big thank you to you for, coming here and taking this session. It was really very, very insightful. And, what you said really made sense that order before picking AI is the most important, I feel. So,
Yeah.
identifying these things and then picking out the right tools and making the most of it is, I think, going to benefit all our MSME owners here. And about your sprint, so I am personally also really excited for the 8 week sprint. I'm sure
Thank you.
there will be a lot to learn I mean, in these just 45 minutes, you have taught us so much, and that is an 8 week sprint. So I'm sure it is going to be packed with so much of knowledge. So,
Absolutely.
and even we,
That will be
yes,
minimum 2 hours, 90 minutes to 2 hours.
oh,
Today is just 45 minute session because whoever will be joining, they will be practice live and they will get the confidence. Before they go, they should have the confidence. Wow, it is not a nightmare. It is not an overwhelming thing.
beautiful, beautiful. And this is the exact value that we at Iris MSME also, encourage, that we basically strive to empower these MSMEs so that they learn and they grow. Our app Iris Peridot also has a lot of tools which help MSMEs, grow and conduct their business in a better way. So we have also introduced, in fact, we are also started to facilitate finance. So we have unlocked loans as well and a lot of other tools. So yes, if you are an MSME watching this, there are two things. Please, register for the 8 week sprint. We'll be sharing the link with you shortly. And also, if you haven't checked out our Iris Peridot app, please do so. There are a lot of great tools available for you. So, yeah, I think on that note, we would like to say a goodbye. And until next time, please drop in what topics you would like us to cover so that we
Yeah,
can,
that will be great. If they can, tell, okay, these are the things they want to learn, then we can work upon those also in the future webinar.
correct, definitely, definitely. So, yes, please drop in your comments about what topics you would like us to take up next. And a big, big thank you for, staying tuned. And thank you, sir, for taking this webinar. It was
My
really an
honor,
honor
my
for
pleasure,
us.
my honor.
Okay, bye
Thank you.
bye. Have a great, great evening. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.